Hello and welcome back to Grocery Day. It's a little bit later of a grocery haul for me because I had a lovely bit of a sleep in this morning, which I don't often do. I was caught up on chores from yesterday and I stayed up a little bit later watching a really bizarre spooky movie on Svengoolie, if anybody knows who that is. That's been kind of a Saturday ritual for me for a long time. I like all of the sci-fi, Godzilla, Dracula, Frankenstein. Anyway, so I slept in. Got some work done on the computer, had my weight day, because Sundays is when I do cardio weights, calisthenics, physical therapy, routine, all that good stuff. And here I am. I want to share with you another foodie haul grocery video, and as the thumbnail implies, I am eating more to weigh less, and I want to show you how I'm really maximizing my budget in that I'm also being kind of a guinea pig and earning money that I use to then really stretch my food budget, because if you don't know me, food is medicine in my world. My name is Tiffany. I am the founder of Anderson Therapeutics. I am a health coach. I am a patient advocate, a health educator, a author. And this Aging Well channel is all about showcasing my holistic approach to dining well, aging well, living well in a very holistic way. I went to 2 different grocery stores today, and I had a few errands to run because I also have an eBay store that's helping me to declutter, downsize, and I have been really pleasantly surprised. Since August of 2025 is when I actually started my YouTube channel and opened up an eBay store, something that I hadn't considered doing either, and was prompted by another content creator that challenged me during one of their videos, and I was intrigued and I thought, why not to both? And I have thoroughly enjoyed and really been selling some stuff that is just gathering dust. So there's one way that I am maximizing my budget and making better use of just getting rid of things I don't need. So that was one of my errands, is taking an item to the post office, having it scanned, blah, blah, blah. And then I also, because this week I'm doing something a little bit different with my meal plans, in that I have shared in previous videos. If you've watched some of my videos before, thank you, welcome back. If not, welcome. That I tend to go through a little hibernation stage during the winter months, and not always, though inevitably I find myself a little heavier than I ought to. And since I have dual hip replacement, carrying excess weight on my hips is, one, painful. It's not good for the health and longevity of my joints, and it's also uncomfortable, and then that means I'm not fitting in a lot of my clothes as well as I would like to. And I am a spring birthday person, and I've already got my birthday trip for late March, April planned. So this is the best time for me as we're entering into Utah's been weird. That's where I live. And the winter, I don't know if we did have snow the other day, though I wouldn't call this a winter from the 60 plus years that I've lived here. Though hopefully we'll get more water because we're in a drought right now. Since it's been sunny and a lot of the trees are budding, I have felt that energy, that call to shed excess weight. In doing that, what I am preparing for is a potato challenge. I follow the starch solution, and since I adopted this meal plan over 10 years ago, I have felt very very good about the weight that I'm carrying, and I know that I can improve, as we all can. Never too late to make improvements to your health. And this video is all about sharing what I am purchasing, and not at all a poo-poo for anyone out there that's still eating animal products. You do you. You know your health better than anyone. I know my health better than anyone, and I partner with my healthcare providers in order to manage all of the chronic conditions, plus my genetic history, and the lifestyle, the environment that I live in, because how I manage asthma in a desert, high altitude, heavily polluted climate is going to be very different than someone else who's watching and might have asthma, but maybe you live at sea level and it's very humid where you live. Maybe the air is really clean. I don't have that privilege of living somewhere where the air is really clean. And so when it snowed earlier this week, I felt like I was oxygen binging because the air just was almost sweet rather than gritty and metallic tasting. So with my grocery haul this week, I went to Rancho Market, as I did last weekend. It's one of my favorite ethnic markets, to get the bulk of my produce, and I spent $11.29. Technically, I got it for free. I'll tell you why in a minute. And then I also, because I needed to go to a post office that was open nearby, there was one inside another local grocery store who I love called Harmon's. They're family owned and they had a post office. So I was able to ship my eBay packages and only bought a few items there and spent $13.88, though also that was free. So let me show you what I got at Rancho. Again, they had 8 pounds of russet potatoes for $1. Amazing. Now I need to hurry and get this in the freezer. At Harmon's, then I got 2 packets of hash browns, because later in this week, when I do my potato focused approach, that will start out as a 3-day, sorry for the noise, it'll start out as a 3-day. You may have heard these, they're all over the internet and on YouTube and other social platforms, as a 3-day potato reset. Well, Dr. John McDougall, who was a board certified internist, medical doctor, passed away sadly. His wife, Mary McDougall, is a registered nurse, and she put together what she called a 7-day Mary's Mini. I will link to that video at the end of this video so you can see what a 7-day potato Mary's Mini looks like. That's similar to what I'm going to be doing with a 3-day challenge customized to my own preferences, my own taste buds. I like to eat the same things every day when I do these type of things because it's just easier. I work multiple jobs, I have a busy work week, and so on the days that I grocery shop, I also batch cook and just have things prepped for an easy grab and go to get me on my way. And so that way I'm not stressed out, I'm not worried about it, and it just helps me to get things done. And I'm very much an analytical person. I like to have structure, and there's other parts of my life that there's no structure. Everything can seem higgly-piggly, and that drives me nuts. So any of the aspects of my life where I can plan and have things taken care of and organized, that makes me happy. The other thing I got at Harmon's is just very much a decadent treat for me. This is the brand of creamer. I'm not being sponsored. It's the only plant-based creamer that I have found that tastes good to me, because I still choose to drink caffeinated coffee. I have abstained from that in the past. Right now, I am not abstaining from that. I pace myself and monitor it, and it's things that there are times that I actually do give myself a break from caffeine because I have a strong history of heart disease in my family, and I have had high blood pressure and high cholesterol in the past. I don't now, and so I know how much caffeine feels okay for me, that I will allow myself to have in the morning. And that's my approach. That is my coaching approach with people, is that I encourage people to, first and foremost, as an adult, as a person who knows themselves better than no other, you eat what you like and accept the consequences of your dietary choices. Easy peasy. I got a couple of oranges. If you saw the video last week, I showed an enormous orange, which was bigger than a grapefruit, that I purchased. These were the size of oranges that I was looking for. So I got those at Harmon's. A little on the pricier side, but still well worth it nonetheless. Back to what I got at Rancho. I got 2 bell peppers. I will be having raw vegetables as a snack, and salads as well. I've got a regular cucumber. They didn't have any of the Persian cucumbers today. I got some purple onions because when I make my veggie loaded hash browns, if you've seen that video, that's one of my favorite breakfasts. The portion size I can eat looks enormous, though if you consider the low calorie versus the high nutritional density of the food, that's the benefit of a whole food, plant-based, oil-free diet, is that volume-wise, it looks like I'm eating a lot of food, which I am. And I feel nourished, I feel satisfied, I don't feel stuffed, and I'm very happy with the results that I'm getting from my meal plan. That's the beauty of this, because I've tried lots of different meals over the course of my lifetime. In fact, I talk about that briefly on my website, where all of the resources are free. It's andersontherapeutics.com. The whole website was designed to help adults better manage their chronic conditions and make basic lifestyle changes to improve our health and our quality of life. For anyone living in the US, you know that healthcare costs are ridiculous. And for older adults, even if you have good quality insurance, healthcare costs are they can take up a big part of your budget. That's what I'm not willing to do. That's why I invest so much in preparing wholesome meals for myself. I already love to cook, so that's easy. I batch cook to save myself time and money, because then that way I make good use of the things that I have and they don't spoil. And this is a medicinal approach to me, and I work in partnership with my healthcare providers who all know that this is part of my meal plan. This is part of my health plan. And that way, the medications that I do take, it's in concert with how I am taking care of myself. Rancho also had the garnet yams on sale again. They were even less expensive this week, and I will be baking these for an optional snack. They had strawberries on sale for the low price of $1. So I got 2 containers, and I'll more than likely eat one of these today. That's really low in calories, and strawberries are one of my favorite berries. I eat a lot of berries. I also got apples. They had golden delicious apples, so I've got 4 of these, and these will be an afternoon snack and or just a dessert for lunch. I also purchased, they had the Mexican squash, so see, excuse me, these are similar to a zucchini. I will just usually dry saute these with onions or even steam them. That's something that I enjoy. And to flavor those, I like to flavor them with, besides the onion, things like garlic, or I really love vinegars. I have all sorts of flavors of vinegars, especially the balsamic glaze. So it's just that reduction. You can make it yourself because I know it can be expensive. I've been very lucky to find them at really obscure places like ethnic markets or even at the dollar store. Sometimes they will have a really good quality balsamic reduction, and a little goes a long way. So when I steam something like zucchini or a yellow squash or a Mexican squash, then I will drizzle a little bit of the balsamic glaze across that with some black pepper, and it is absolutely delicious. Plus, incredibly low in calories, high in fiber, high in nutrition. The last thing that I purchased is a bundle of cilantro. I go through a lot of cilantro. If you saw previous videos, I do a lot of guacamole. I like to make my own chips. I make a lot of like Mexi bowls, and even on Asian bowls. Cilantro is a taste that works for me. I know a lot of people don't like this. This was 3 for $1, so this was 33 cents. Absolute bargain. Now, for my meals over the course of the 3 days, as I clean up the items that are in the fridge, because I'm not going to let things go to waste, I do have a kind of a mono repeating meal system when I do just a leaning out approach. I'm not going to call it a detox or anything like that, because I'm not going to feel deprived at all. I am simply focusing on whole foods. There will be no processed foods. And in the morning, I will have my veggie loaded hash browns and some green tea. I will have had coffee in the morning. I tend to not eat until I'm hungry. That way I can extend a fast in the morning. I don't eat until I feel hungry. And if that means that I don't eat until noon, then so be it. It's not often the case, though. I listen to my body. And as I showed on the thumbnail, then this is my approach. This is my 3 key concepts to improved health. They are that I soothe to manage my chronic pain, I nourish because food is medicine, and I rest. And the way that I rest and make sure that I get enough quality sleep is that I move every single day in some form of exercise. I have been putting together fitness routines for myself since I was a kid playing sports. And yes, I've had to modify it over time. And when I received my hip replacements, all of those awful times when I had to do a lot of sitting, or when I was walking on crutches and focusing more on physical therapy, we honor our bodies with the abilities that we have and do our best with wherever we are today in order to improve and achieve improved results. That's what my guide is all about. This is a limited edition print copy, and I have an ebook. I will put a link in the description below if you would like to look at that. The 3 key concepts are also highlighted for free on my website, so please check them out. It's a very customizable plan and something that I've been using for coaching clients for years. And the reason I put together the ebook last December is because a lot of my coaching clients wanted a online reference. They wanted a workbook that they could actually refer back to. That is the reason this all came together. And it's a legacy project. It's something that I've been living and incorporating, and why I'm here on YouTube. My Aging Well channel is about sharing. It's not about competing. It's not about a wee contest. Do you know what I'm talking about? The word starts with P and ends in ing. So this isn't about bashing others. This isn't about that I'm doing things better than you. This is about sharing something that has been revolutionary for me. When I discovered the Starch Solution, I was teaching nutrition at the academic level, and I had never heard of it before. It also coincided with a time where I became seriously ill, so ill that I was rapidly on a decline to an early demise in my mid-40s. It came without warning. I wasn't injured. I just got suddenly ill, unknown etiology. Now, we can all and often do experience a health crisis in our life. And sometimes that can be the catalyst, the pivot to when we are shaken and woken up. And at the time, I felt that I was taking good care of myself. And due to the situation that happened with me, something was obviously wrong that even my doctors weren't aware of. And for whatever reason, it doesn't matter to me now why it all happened. What mattered was how well my medical team and I were able to put together a plan, a formula that it took a while, though it got me back into an active lifestyle. It helped me return to a quality of life that I am content with. And that's the most important thing for me, because now that I am aging solo, I'm my own caregiver. And I want to remain independent because I love to travel, I love to hike, and I have so many adventures and so many things that I want to do. And all of these beautiful, lovely foods here, especially eating the rainbow, having all of the leafy greens, the starches like potatoes. These are the nutritional powerhouse foods that are helping me to achieve my health goals. And I'm encouraging and inviting you to join me on a journey to improved health. I'm going to put down a free PDF that gives you an idea of how I am managing chronic pain without medication. And that took time, considering that I have dual hip replacement. There was a time where I needed the medication. If any of you have metal in your body, then you understand. And if you've watched this far, please give this a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And the last thing I'll leave you with is how I was able to score these groceries at a low price and technically for free, because I have been taking advantage of medical research studies for a very long time, and many of you probably have as well. Comment below if you have. And they are things that I discuss with my doctor. I research heavily before I participate, though that is sometimes the advantage of being an adult. If you are managing chronic conditions, there are research studies out there who are wanting to improve services, and at the same time, you are rewarded with free healthcare and financial rewards. So the study that I am participating in now basically takes the funds that I am earning based on the study and puts it on a little prepaid visa. And so when I go to the grocery store right now, I've incorporated that into my budget plan. So all of these came out of that study money. And the money that then I would have spent on the groceries, I'm putting it elsewhere, paying off debt, putting it in savings, putting it towards my birthday adventure coming up soon. Just an idea. Now, as I said, I'm a health educator. I'm not a clinician. This is not meant to replace any medical advice. It's simply sharing my experience and what has worked for me in ways that I hadn't believed possible years ago. My quality of life is something that I am so happy with, and I'm happy to share this with others in hopes that even if you are just adding more vegetables to your plate, adding more fiber to your meals, and better taking care of yourself, that's what my Aging Well channel is all about. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.